Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marte. I come from Norway and I love makeup, especially indie makeup and sparkly makeup. And today I am going to show you guys some Glam Shop stuff, because if you didn't know, a lot of their staple palettes are being discontinued, and the kind of good thing in the fact that they are discontinuing these palettes is that they are allowing you to pick up the shadows from the palette as single shadows. So if there were only a few shades from some palettes that you wanted, then now you have the chance before they are gone for good. So in this video I will show you guys the ones that I find the most special, unique, the most worthy of picking up. Also, I asked on Instagram earlier today if someone had some wishes for what I should include in this video, so I'm also going to show you guys some of the iridescent shades and a couple comparison, I think, from like some of the mattes. Oh, and they are doing a huge sale tonight at midnight, so it starts the 6th of June Polish time, and usually it starts at midnight, although they haven't really announced the time, but I would just presume that they have the sale starting at midnight. So if you're interested in seeing some of my recommendations and some of my favorite shades from the palettes that are being discontinued, then please keep on watching. So of course, not all of the shadows from the palettes are still available, but you are able to find them on the outlet page on Glam Shop's website. So I'm just going to like scroll down and take the shadows as I see them. So I actually already picked up a few of these. So I think for most of the mattes, I'm not necessarily going to swatch them, because you don't, like, the mattes are the mattes, you know. The first shade is this matte one called Dream Book. I think this is from their calendar, so I picked this up myself because it's just a gorgeous berry shade. And I don't see it on the website right now, but this one is called Cognac, and it is a really deep purple. So I love those kind of shades, and I definitely need some more deep shades from Glam Shop, so I picked this one up. And then the one I have here is called Liquorice, and it's a little bit lighter and a little bit more cool toned, as you can see. So I just want to show you those next to each other. So I'm quite sure this purple is from the Violets palette and it's called Violet. But it's a beautiful one, and had I known that they were going to discontinue all of them, I wouldn't have bought this, because now I'll probably just depot all of my palettes from them into single shadows instead. But then I have another one of this, and it's a beautiful purple. So they do have these singles available, and this one is called Konstelacja. I'm not going to write up all of the names because I just don't have time for that, but hopefully you will be able to find it. It looks like this swatched out. It is so pretty. It is one of those green brownish blue shades. It's really pretty. And from the same palette you have this one, which is called Kogel Mogel. I don't know what that means, but that's just a super vibrant orange. Like, look at that. And also I want to swatch this yellow. You can obviously see the purple is really beautiful too, but I'm just going to swatch this yellow. I think it's a beautiful one. This one is going to stain my arm, so I probably should have waited with this, but it is what it is. Just so you know it, I probably have swatches of most of these palettes from before, apart from the Raj Kokosanka palette, which is being discontinued, which is a neutral one. So I will try to swatch a lot of those shades, but you can just search on my channel, like within my channel, for the palette name or the shadow name. Obviously the ones that are in the palette is not going to show up, because I usually make my description box so that I write all of the products. So search for the palette names and you should be able to find my swatches of the palettes. So here we have the Raj Kokosanka palette. This one is such a staple, neutral, kind of cool toned palette for me. I reach for this a lot. It's almost the palette from Glam Shop that I reach for the most. And the main reason I got this was because of this gorgeous shade here called Egzotyk. I'm guessing it's just exotic in English, but it's on their website as Egzotyk, so that is the Polish name. And this one is just so pretty. You can see it's deeper than this one. Oh, it's just beautiful. You can get such a nice, beautiful smoky look with that. I did also see that someone wanted this one swatched. This one is called Storczyk. I don't know what that means. It's a beautiful taupe shade though. and it's quite sparkly. I will show you with different lighting once I have kind of filled up my arm with swatches. And I also wanted to swatch Raj. I think that is also one that has been requested. So that is just a super, super deep, kind of really sparkly and nice brown. It's beautiful. I really like this palette. If you can get the whole palette, I would have, because I also love the white shimmer here. It's very sparkly. I've used that a lot for my makeup looks where I want a light inner part of the lid. So those are like this whole palette, like the mattes too, it's just so beautiful. Definitely recommend this one. So the next on the website that I can see is Shadows from the Laguna palette. Honestly, if you can still get this palette, I would definitely recommend you to do so, because like there's only 2 mattes and all of the shimmers in this one are so special and beautiful. So I do have a video up on this, so you can check that out if you are interested in swatches of all of these. But especially I wanted to swatch this one. It's a neutral shade, but it has a lot of sparkles to it, which you will see afterwards when I show you with different lighting. You can see a little bit now too. It has some pink reflects. I know that someone requested this one to be swatched. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name, but here you can see it. And I'm going to put that right here. It's very like sheer, but you can definitely build that one up. And I just have to swatch Atol, and I think the other one is called Laguna down here in the bottom, yeah, because those are really beautiful to me. So there you have Atol, and here is Laguna. It's almost like the shade of Wizard from their marble shades. So for this arm, I think that's enough of shadows. I'm going to show you with some different lighting so you can see the sparkles and the shifts. Oh, that Atol shade is just so stunning. Can you see those shifts? The sun is really coming out, so I hope that you can see this, because it's hard for me to even see the monitor. And here you can see how sparkly those Kokosanka palette shadows are. So pretty. And then the ones from the... Oh my god, I don't think I even mentioned what the name of the palette was, but it's from their color palette, the small one. Another palette that seems to be discontinued now is this one, Paprika palette, and this one has been in my favorites video before, because look at it. All the mattes are just incredible and all the shimmers are so pretty. I think I'm going to swatch almost all the shimmers. I'm going to swatch this one, Salsa. It's just such a pretty peachy pink shade. And then we have Tabasco. This is amazing. And then this one is really interesting as well, Piri. So beautiful. And if you like, I would 100% recommend all of these mattes. These are so pretty. And look at how deep that is. So that is Salsa, Tabasco, and Piri. Whoa. Those are insane. I swear they're so pretty. And I'm not sure if I'm actually going to swatch anything from this. I mean, I guess I could swatch... I'm going to swatch some of the mattes because someone requested some comparisons between the mattes in this one with some of their singles, but I can swatch this one. It's such a beautiful kind of medium toned blue. I don't feel like those are that common, but just look at that. And all of the shimmers just swatch so nicely. And it's so nice because going through these palettes, it really takes me back to when I first discovered Glam Shop and how excited I was about the palettes, because the sparkliness and the duochromes and all of that good stuff in these palettes were just... It was just something you didn't see back then. So I'm really excited to have these palettes. So someone wanted to see the shade in the middle here, Chabry, compared to the single shadow Niebosklon. So I'm just going to swatch Chabry here. And then I have the shade Niebosklon right here. You can see it's a little bit more purple. So here we have the shadow from the palette, and here we have the single shadow. I don't think these would make too big of a difference. Okay, wait, this one's from the palette. This one is the single shadow. You can see they're very similar, but there is some more purple to the last one that I swatched. So you don't really need both, I would say. Oh, maybe I should swatch this blue as well. I don't know if it's available, I hope so. Just look at it, it's so beautiful. Wow. And I remember using this palette and it was just so easy to work with. You can like see how it blends right here. Such a good palette. So there's actually one that I have ordered but I haven't gotten yet. It's one from the Caramel palette called Kudo. So I will be having that, but I don't have it yet. But that's one I picked up. Oh, and they're discontinuing this one too, the Remix palette. A lot of the palettes that I have made 2 looks with, but I never filmed the swatches, so I just never uploaded it. I was looking to see if they had this as a single, because I would 100% buy a backup. It is such a gorgeous highlighter. So I know that someone wanted this shade, Mineralny, swatched, so I'm just going to do that. This one is not one of the ones I feel like are the most exciting, but it's still really beautiful, of course. And this Remix palette is just, it's a weird, like it's a weird mix of colors. This one is also available. It is called Petarda. It's really pretty. It's a kind of dusty purpley shade. So I'm going to swatch that here. And the ones that I feel like are the prettiest that are still on the website are the, it is this one, Cacko. I don't know if that's how you say it. It sounds like poop in German. But I'm going to swatch this one. It's just a really pretty, it's a neutral, so it's like not that special, but it's really beautiful. And then both of these are really beautiful, but I can only see this one available, Odeon. And this one, like these two, they blew my mind when I first saw this palette. So those are the 2 that I will swatch from this palette. Just look at that green. It's so pretty. And remember that all of these shimmers will look different with a glam glue or a different kind of eyeshadow base underneath. I just wanted to show you the one I call the highlight, and I will just swatch it right here so you can see how beautiful of a sheen it gives. So pretty. Oh, the next shadow is from this one. It's called Pozytywny, and it was the shade that made me buy this whole palette. And I just recommend it so much. It is so sparkly and beautiful. It is the shade right here, Pozytywny. It is super sparkly. It has tons of micro sparkles in it. Oh, it's just so pretty. You can't see it right now, but you will see it, like, you can see how reflective it is, and it's almost wet looking. But you will see all of the sparkles afterwards when I show you with different lighting. I do think that the mattes in this one are also available, so I do really like the mattes as well. You can see it's a mix of cool toned and warm toned. So these are really, really beautiful. So I guess it's time for me to show you with the different lighting. So here we have the ones from the Paprika palette. Tabasco there is just extremely beautiful, but the others too as well. So I think it was Salsa, which is on top there, and then it's Piri, which is that super bright orange shimmer. It's not super sparkly, but it's really beautiful. Then it's the Sapphire shade, and the mattes. Then we have the ones from the Remix palette right there. I hope you can see the sparkles. Those are really beautiful shades. And now it's going to be a bit hard to show that last one, but I hope you can see just how reflective and shiny that one is, the one from the Brown Sugar palette. They are also discontinuing this palette. It's the beautiful Camo palette, I think it's called. And the middle shade, which is my favorite, is not available as a single, but this one is. And also the shade Wojskowy, which is also really pretty. It's a satin shade though, but both of those are really pretty, and I do really appreciate those shades. The mattes are also beautiful. Some of them, I don't remember exactly which ones, but some of them were not as opaque as I'm used to from Glam Shop, but do check out my video on this palette if you're interested in seeing that. And I'm seeing that this one is also sadly not available as a single, so I'm not going to swatch that. But here we have that Koszary shade, and then it's Wojskowy. So that one is a little bit more of a lime shift to it, which you will see in different lighting. Now I have a very bright lighting. from the other palette, which is, I don't remember, was it Heathland or Heather or something? I really recommend this one. It's Amethyst and it's a really just deep matte shade. I guess I can swatch it. It is available now as a single shadow. And as I showed you earlier as well, there are several of these super dark shades. So if you're looking for some really good deep purples, definitely recommend that. And I don't really see a lot of the shimmers being available apart from this one, which is Queen, which was also requested of me to swatched by someone on Instagram. So there we have that. I'm just going to try to show you with different lighting now before you forget like the names. So here we have these ones. I feel like this is such a beautiful satin because it goes from, I don't even think you can see it that well here, but it has a pink shift, pink to lime. And that top one is just a gorgeous greenish golden brown. And Queen here, I don't really think it's that special. I'd rather go for some other iridescents, to be honest, but with the palette it's good. Next up we have the Celadine palette, which is last year's spring collection, and here you have all of the shades available. I'm of course going to swatch this one. It's so pretty. It is called, what is it called? Okay, I'm not going to pronounce that. I'm not going to pronounce that, but you can check out the names here. Also, I'm going to swatch this one, Irisek. I think that was also one that was requested of me to swatch, and it's a stunning shade. I would 100% pick those up, and I do really enjoy this one too, the one that is called Celadine. It's just such a beautiful sagey green. You can see it's kind of like a satin with a slightly warm shift to it. I don't know, it's not like super obvious or anything, it's just really pretty in my opinion. And this yellow is just one of the best yellows I have. It's super almost limey green, no, limey yellow I mean, and just so beautiful. And especially this shade is so stunning. Definitely a must for me. Other than that, I guess I do really enjoy all of the mattes as well, so this is one that I'm super happy that I have the whole palette, although this one is more of the like pastel multichrome, and it's a little bit hard pan as you can see, and this is beautiful as a highlight if you want something like that, because it's very sheer, but it has that shift. Then it's the Niesa Pominaika palette. I think that's Forget Me Not. And this one is sold out, but the interesting thing is that these two are super similar. It's just that this one has slightly more of a base, but you don't really see that that well. So if you use this matte underneath this one, it's going to be really similar. So this one is the one that is called Niesa Pominaika. So I will just go ahead and swatch that. It's such a beautiful iridescent shade. It's a pink, no, it's a purple to blue shift. I hope you will be able to see that afterwards, but look at that, it's so electric. I obviously love these mattes. These pastel mattes are so pretty. From the shimmers, I think, obviously this one is really beautiful with the golden shift, but I feel like swatching this one. It's so pretty. It's like very sparkly and glittery. I think it's so pretty. And obviously I also do have swatches of these palettes from last spring. Such gorgeous palettes. I love these so much. So here we have the Tropicana palette, and I do not see this one available anymore. If not, I would have picked that one up if I were to pick out singles from this palette. But this one is available, and that is such a pretty shade. These are kind of more marbly textured, so I'm tapping very lightly into it, and you can see it's picking up quite a bit. This one is also available, so I will just swatch it for the sake of swatching more than just one shadow. The purple is also really pretty, but it's not super sparkly. So here I'm gonna swatch that middle shade, which I think is so pretty. So pretty. And then this one is the one which is more of a rosy pink with a golden shift. But this one reminds me a little bit of the Virtual Pink Multichrome. So I would have compared them, but I don't really know where it is right now. I think it's in a custom palette somewhere, so I'm not going to, but at least here you can see how beautiful that one is. So here I'm going to show you those with different lighting. These ones were from the Tropicana palette, the bottom ones. And then it was from the, which one was it? Niazapominaika palette. Here you can almost see how similar that iridescent one was to the shade called Asena that is not available. And then it's those gorgeous greens from the Celadine palette. So pretty. And then we have these from the purple palette and the Camo palette, which are just really pretty, that you saw earlier. So those are my recommendations from those. Apparently this one is also going to be discontinued from this one. There are only the 2 mattes here that are left, as well as the shade Meshek. So I would definitely recommend these 2 mattes. They're so pretty. I'm almost contemplating on getting an extra of this one. And I mean, this one is also so pretty. So those 2 are the ones I would recommend from this palette, since the middle shade Nectar is not available. Oh my god, just look how pigmented that is. Then we have from the Violetti palette. I don't think this one is available. Oh, damn. I don't think that one is available, but someone requested that I swatch this shade. You can see the name right there. Sviesidlo? I have no idea. So I will just swatch that one. It's kind of like a pearly formula. So you can see that here. I think it's a really pretty shade, actually. It is. Someone actually requested for me to swatch the iridescents I have from Glam Shop, so I tried to gather them here in this huge palette, which I just got from V Cosmetics, VE. So this one has a lot of the gorgeous multichromes and then the crystal shadows, but then you have the iridescence here in the bottom. So I will just go ahead and swatch. Here we have the 3 first. So this is Turbo Snieska. Then it's Turbo Migielka. I'll have to write these up because I'm not pronouncing them right. And then it's Blyskotka right here. Those don't even have English names as far as I could see. So there is the Snieska one, Migielka, and Blyskotka. The 3 next ones are here. This is Pink Platinum. That's definitely one of my absolute favorites from Glam Shop. It's just such a beautiful iridescent. It has such a warm shift. This one is Gviazda. I think I also added that one in my favorites video. It's also such a stunning iridescent shade. It has a little bit more of a base to it, but it's still, it's very light. It's a super light creamy white almost. And then this one is Magic, or Magical, I think it's called. So I'm just going to skip that stain that I have here so that you won't get confused by that. That is Pink Platinum, Gviazda, and Magical. The next ones are, as you can see, yellow based ones. This is my favorite. It's called Puszek with a S and a Z. This one is called White Rabbit. It's from the Velvets. And then this one was called something like Sviedielko or something. It's not one of my favorites. It's more of like a regular iridescent shimmer, I guess you could say. This one, Puszek, has been in a lot of my custom palettes. I remember it was in my Perfect Neutral palette using Glam Shop singles. And this one is the most similar one to that, but you can see this is just so much more intense and yellow. But if you don't want something super yellow, then I guess you could go for the last one. And now I'm just going to show you with different lighting. So the bottom 3 now, I think this was something like Sviedielko, something like that. Sorry for everyone speaking Polish. Then it is the White Rabbit one, which is very like delicate white with some golden sparkles to it, and Puszek, which is straight up yellow iridescent. So stunning. And here we have Magical. It has a little bit of different sparkles to it. I don't know if you can see that, especially pink and blue. Then it's Gviazda, one of my favorite iridescents. It has kind of a creamy base, as I said, and some blue sparkles. Then it's Pink Platinum, such a warm, you can definitely see it here. It has that orangey shift to it, but it's mainly pink. Then we have these ones. So the last one right here is Blyskotka. I think it's more of a pink to green. I don't know. Is it just blue to green? You can see it right here. I guess it goes to purple. And then it was Turbo Migielka here and Snieska here. So those two are very similar, I think, but You can see a little bit of difference to the shifts. I just don't know how much that will show up unless you use a deep base. And this was the one from the Fioletti palette, which has a golden shift, and then it's of course the mattes from the green one. So I think that sums up all of the shades from the outlet site, where I think that you should take an extra look, because a lot of people say that they can't see the swatches properly from the swatches on the website, or they can't see the shadows properly from the swatches on the website, which I understand. It's hard to capture all of the shifts in just one photo. So hopefully this was a little bit helpful. And then I also added that little iridescent sequence. I can totally make a proper iridescent video, because I might have some more iridescent shadows from Glam Shop hiding somewhere, but iridescent shadows aren't usually what I tend to pick up, but at least now you got to see the ones that I have picked up, and a ton of other gorgeous shades that I'm just so happy to have, and I'm really sad that they're going, so that's why I'm making this video, so that if you want those shadows, then you have the opportunity now before they're gone. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me, and happy shopping during the sale if you are doing that, or if not, I just hope that you enjoyed looking at some pretty swatches. I hope I see you in my next video. Bye!